director of the office itself. It's a function of the senior folks in each of those offices help provide that local leadership. I try to travel a decent amount. I spend about a month every summer in Boulder, for example, drop my kids out and live in Boulder for a period of time and work from that office. Try to get down to Durham, you know, as often as I can. And we do a weekly staff meeting where everybody's in a go-to meeting, and so you're kind of all connected that way. There's a lot of overlap in terms of projects spread with teams across all 3 offices. So it's not as isolated as it might be in a different structure. But we do try to encourage a little bit of unique culture in each office. So we view them as opportunities to experiment. You know, you know, we can act like a 15-person company in Boulder because it's just that little office. So let's try some things, see if it works. If it does work, you know, apply it to the whole company. So that multi-office setup, that's one of the benefits of it.
That's very interesting. Can you describe the physical space as well? I mean, what does each office look like?
Sure. You know, the Boulder office is fairly small, but it's, you know, big open seating, and then a series of closed offices. Durham is similar. You know, it's funny, the timing. We're in the process of building out our new headquarters in Virginia, and we're really trying to keep in mind the balance of the benefits of open seating, kind of open floor plan, but lots of little spots for people to go work. I'm very sensitive to that. Your office has been an inspiration to some of the, in terms of what I've seen. So we want to really make a space where there's your kind of permanent desk, but any given day you can find the spot you need, whether it's a booth at the kitchen, or a little phone closet to sit in, or a big conference room, or the ping pong table, wherever you want to go sit, a couch in the corner. You've got those options. I think that flexibility is the key, rather than try to really force everybody into one system, whether it's a closed office or an open seat.
Yeah. There's obviously a lot going on. You've got 3 kids, you've got 3 offices.
4 kids.
So 4 kids, so,
Yeah.
Wow. But at least not Ben, he's got 7, like 6 and 1 on the way. There's a lot going on. How do you balance life? How do you make sure it all works and deal with the stresses?
Yeah, it's well, first of all, prioritizing the things at work that make it not just tolerable but enjoyable. So, you know, only hiring people that I love to work with is one of the things. Really trying to be as selective as we can with clients. You know, so working on things that we're passionate about. Having time internally to work on our own internal projects. You know, passion projects that we just want to experiment with things and try new things and that sort of stuff. So there's you know, in terms of making sure the work piece is enjoyable, but then it's, you know, typical time management, discipline type stuff. I'm fortunate that I can walk to the office, so I don't have a big long commute. I can be around in the morning, get the kids on the bus, get home in time for dinner every night, that kind of thing. And the business is successful enough, and we have enough of a team now where we've delegated stuff and just spread the workload. So in most cases, I don't have to work weekends and stuff like I did for the first 5 years, getting the thing off the ground. It was, you know, endless. Just, you know, making good decisions in that way is important. I'm also not, you know, I'm not driven by financial success. I mean, the company is financially successful in every sort of measure, but I'm not kind of targeting some huge exit or something along those lines. My goal is has always been to create a business that is sustainable and enjoyable for me and for the staff and for everybody that's involved, so that we can do something we want to do for the next 20 years while we raise the kids and be a part of the community and all these things that I love to do. So if you change the dynamic and you try and say, okay, I want to create a sustainable work environment, I think that can change the way you balance your time and your life.
Where do you develop your talent from? How do you know where the next great person is going to be coming from?
One thing is being as good about sharing everything that we know as we can. So we've been blogging for years. We try to go to conferences and speak at conferences as much as we can. We encourage the staff to do that. You know, we try to host events when we can in our space, you know, to the extent that that's useful, helpful for folks. So just being a good member of the community is an important part of that. We do have a very strong internship program now. We've been working on that over the last few years. We hired an additional recruiter to be able to really spearhead that. Anna's done an amazing job with that. So that helps kind of as a farm system type of a deal. You know, but really just trying to build up the reputation, do great work, share the work, be able to talk about that, and do the little things that help people understand what the culture is all about. And that tends to create a lot of connections and good people come in that way.
Tell us a little bit about your personal development. Are there areas where you're still figuring out, hey, this is my next big challenge, or these are the skills I still want to work on?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's still some fundamental business stuff that I always want to work on. My brother is effectively our CFO and handles all the finance side, so he's exposed to a lot of stuff in that work that I'm not as exposed to, and I want to get better at that. I mean, that's one of those things where it's just a matter of taking the time to go do it. And it's a tricky one because he handles it very well, so it's sort of not necessary. It's just an area of interest for me. I think there are aspects of leveling up the company to be able to handle the types of more strategic kind of major accounts that we want to work on, that ultimately I have to be able to contribute to that more. I think we've made great progress on that, but that's the thing I love about hiring good people. I can learn a lot from those folks. It's one interesting area for me is, I started out as a developer and did some design work early in my career, and I've sort of on the side been dabbling back with some of that stuff and try to relearn some of the fundamentals. I think it makes it easier for me to connect with the staff and kind of understand that stuff. So I don't think I'll be writing much code for client projects anytime soon, but try to get back into some of those skills is appealing. I think the part of what that we try to embrace and cultivate at Viget is a lifelong learning kind of mentality. Again, in our industry, if I were to hire you for your skills that you have right now, that might be useful for a year or two, but if you're not constantly learning and growing,
right,
we're dead in the water. So that's something we have to look for and hire for and then cultivate. And so I just try to reflect that myself. I'm always out learning new stuff.
Good. Ryan, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.